Good morning. Keith Hayes, Mirador Television, and I'm sitting in the precinct in the middle of Lewis. It's a nice little area with shops, and it's a pedestrian area, rather pleasant to sit in. It's in the area known as Cliff, which is very, very ancient, although the precinct itself is relatively modern. But leading off it is a bridge over the River Ouse to perhaps one of the most ancient, oldest parts of Lewis, Cliff proper, where some of the buildings are made out of old ship's spars and timbers, because Lewis was once, in the dim and distant past, a port. So is the old and the new. I've posted a video this morning saying that I woke up worried that perhaps I'd been attacked by this dreadful virus. And I'm sure that most of us wake up with something and think, oh my goodness me, have we got it? Well, I don't think I have. I have Parkinson's, and that in itself is enough to have to cope with, which I do. As I famously say, I laugh at it, and I do. I couldn't find my stick. I ventured out against every bone in my body which said go back to bed, but I ventured out, and I found that after walking for a little while, my head started to clear, and my body started to react rather better to the exercise than I thought, and hopefully that fear when you first wake up it disappears. I fight the virus. I am a bit concerned that some of our politicians seem to be wavering, and I do understand that the economy is taking a large hit. So are economies around the world. And the fact of the matter is, if you weigh human lives against the economy, which comes first, the state or the individual? And it's always been a problem. We had in the past something called Jenkinsia War, in which Parliament decided, broadly, to go to war with the Spanish because a customs vessel boarded a British vessel in the West Indies, and in the scuffle the captain, named Jenkins, had his ear cut off, and eventually we went to war to revenge that. That's the bit in history that's lovely, and it's known as Jenkinsia War, and it's cited as an example of the individual being looked after rather than the interest of the state. Actually, if you dig into it, not at all. Politicians never do that. There's always some underlying reason, and there is in Jenkinsia case. But anyway, the reason that I'm saying that is that it is, in my view, better that we look after the individual and the citizen and don't rush into any end to the lockdown because of the economy. If we have to tough it out the way that we did after the war, then let's tough it out. Okay, there's a generation that, and several generations, that didn't know what it was like after the war. Well, it wasn't that bad, you know. In fact, the diet was much better than it is today. We got more exercise, we did more things without electronic aid. It would be interesting to see. Enough preaching. I am going now to say, please watch MiradorTelevision.com. That's where you can find it, MiradorTelevision.com. Mirador stands for a small turret. We have a barbican in Lewis, or a tower, a castle, and we named our television station because it's small. After that, we're not small anymore. We broadcast to the States via Roku, and now to the rest of the UK via Roku, taking people time to find us, but they are. So, bit by bit, this potty little television station that emanates from Lewis in East Sussex is beginning to take on the world. I shouldn't say conquer. But I am going to introduce you this morning, and I try each morning to introduce somebody who broadcasts on or has something to do with Mirador Television. And this morning I'm going to introduce you to Mark Brett-Warburton, who is a man of considerable common sense and thoughtful. Catch him if you can. Mark Brett-Warburton. And his program is called Thinking It Through. So watch out for that and tune in. Unless you've got a smart TV, and then you can go to Roku. Okay, for the moment, a rapidly recovering Keith Hayes, Toodle Pip.
Hi, it's Mark Brett-Warburton again, coming to you from Guildford. Just to prove that I do things in my kitchen as well, this is a bit of an experiment. I'm going to actually try and make some pancakes live for this production while talking to you. Let's see if it works. This is a sound test as much as anything else. First one down. The reason why I've decided to make these pancakes, I've got some flour here, but most importantly, I had a spare egg that is coming to the end of its life, and I had some milk that needed to be used up. So I'm trying to find ways of using all of this stuff up as rapidly as I can so we don't end up with wastage. I think this is going to be a very important thing as part of the dealing with this crisis, is to utilise what food we've got in the best way we possibly can. I mean, if this worst comes to the worst, I can always freeze these, even if I don't want to eat them today. A little bit of sugar, some baking powder, and you're away. I'm Mark Brett-Warburton, cooking for you in Guildford. If you want to write in, the email address is yourviews@brett-warburton.com. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.